Hi, Joanne.
Hi, good morning. What day is it? Is today Thursday, Sunday? The sun's out. It's all good. Okay, before we get started, please find a wall that has a little bit of space that you can put your legs up the wall. If you don't have a wall, find a chair. And some of the props we're going to be using now, if you have a chance to run and get it, I have an eye pillow. If you don't have an eye pillow, you can use a bag of beans, a bag of rice. Eye pillow goes like so. 2 blocks, 2 blankets, and I have a thinner bolster today, not such a thick one. So if you need to run and go get these props, do it. And if you don't have time and you don't feel like running and getting them, you can replay this video or any video that you watch on FitRec Live. I don't have the link, but it's on my Facebook page, Joanne C Yoga. So if you want to play this video or any video on FitRec Live, get that link and you can do so. So I'm just waiting out about 2 more minutes. I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's doing good. It's beautiful weather the past couple of days. It's a sunny day, a little windy today, but that's okay. So if you've taken my classes before, you know I always have notes, and that's just the way I am. I used to be an accountant, so I have a file for everything. All right, so Jana, when am I going to get on that big screen? Okay, I got the 1 minute. Okay. So gather up your props. I really recommend getting some sort of eye pillow. You can even use a folded up paper towel, something that just lets you close out the world a little bit. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to do about 5 to 6 poses today, and we're going to hold the poses for about 5 minutes. Depending upon whether we're on one side or the other, we'll switch off. It'll do 2.5 minutes per side. So let's get right to it. We're going to do legs up the wall for our first pose. If you've never done legs up the wall, watch me demo it, and then I'll come out and go back in it. All right, so if you've never done legs up the wall, if you have, go ahead and do your legs up the wall. I am coming to my wall. I'm bringing my hip as close as I can to the wall. Now, there's nothing graceful about the way you throw your legs up the wall, and that's okay. So I've got my hands behind me, and I'm starting to swing the legs up. So I'm going to grab a blanket, and I'm going to put it under my head. Oh, this just feels nice. And then I'm going to grab my eye pillow. But first, I have to kind of snuggle in a little bit toward the wall. So those of you that have done legs up the wall, go ahead and get it now. I'm going to re-demo it for those of you that have never done this. Believe me, once you do it, this will become your go-to pose. If you are on your menstrual cycle or pregnant, do not do this pose. All right, so I've got a towel, a blanket behind me for my head. I'm scooching up to the wall. I'm swinging my legs around, and I'm scooching toward the wall. I've got my eye pillow over my eyes, which is fabulous. My eye pillow I've had for about 15 years, and I put lavender oil on it every couple of months. And I'm telling you, it is just the bee's knees. So just let yourself come into your pose. I'm going to come out of the pose so that the audio is a little clearer. If you do not want to do legs up the wall, you can stack your block and do legs up the blocks. So, oof, I got the wall here. So let yourself get comfortable. This is a marvelous pose. I'm going to look at some of my notes. There's some interesting facts about this pose. Take some long, slow, deep breaths in this pose. Envision the fluid in your legs is flowing down toward the abdomen. And envision that all tension is draining out of your legs. Take nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Notice if your legs feel lighter and softer. So we have about 3.5 minutes. So enjoy this, just let yourself go. So legs up the wall is an inversion. It's like being upside down. Your feet are higher than your heart. Your heart doesn't have to work so hard. It doesn't have to make the fluid and the blood when we're standing pump all the way to the heart. When you have your legs up, everything just drains naturally. It's very good pose if you are on your feet a lot, if you sit a lot. It reduces swelling and fatigue in the legs. So enjoy this pose. I have done this pose in the middle of the night. I have a nice big headboard, and sometimes I wake up around 2:30 or 3, and I'm like, all right, guess I'll just do legs up the wall. And it is very relaxing, and it helps me calm my mind, and I'm able to fall back to sleep. And there's many variations. You can use a chair. Don't use a chair with wheels, though. Use walls. It's a great pose to do after you travel. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and just enjoy this pose. Hopefully this will be your new go-to pose if it isn't already. And if you don't have an eye pillow, they're easy to make. You can even make it out of a Ziploc bag. Just take some beans or some rice. Take all the air out of the bag. And it just feels so good on your eyes. It's just really calming to the nervous system. Long, slow, deep breaths. Let your legs feel lighter. Let yourself feel supported by the earth. And we've got about 30 seconds left. Okay, so to come out of this pose, you're going to bend your knees into your chest. Just stay here for a moment, give yourself a hug, and then roll over onto your side. Support your head. Stay here for just a full breath. And then using the top hand, press down, come up, and we're going to move into a supported back bend. So I'm going to use 2 blankets. The first blanket, and this is important if you want to do it because it feels good. I'm rolling my blanket. As you can see, it's a little bit of a roll. And this roll, when I lay down, will be on my cervical spine, my neck. And that's nice. That feels good. You might have to adjust it after you come down. But the roll is where the cervical neck goes, and the flat part of the blanket is where your head will go. Then I'm taking my second blanket, and you can leave it just like this, or if you'd like more of a back bend, fold it again. And I'm placing the second blanket about a foot, a little under a foot, so my shoulders will fit in this space. So I'm going to turn around. I've got my eye pillow again. Keep that near you. And I'm coming down. And my shoulders, notice my shoulders are on the mat. Notice how I'm adjusting the roll for underneath my neck. And the back of my head is touching the flattened portion of the blanket. You could bring your feet to the floor and the knees to the sky. If you think, oh, I don't like the way this feels, you roll to your side and you can adjust your blanket. You can even remove the blanket. You can do whatever you want that feels good to you. Take your eye pillow or your folded napkin or paper towel. Adjust the blanket so it feels good on the cervical spine, the back of the neck, and let go. So I'm going to come up to a seated position. You stay where you are. We'll be in this pose for 5 minutes. If for some reason you don't want to be in the pose, you come out of it. It's perfectly fine. So we spend a lot of time hunching forward, and we never really open the chest. So while you're in this pose, feel an open heart. Feel that when you breathe, your lungs are getting a full breath. Breathe slowly and evenly. Feel supported and held by your props. Feel the lungs fill with air with every inhale. Feel the lungs letting go of what no longer serves you. Let all the air out to make more room for a nice, big inhale. Let yourself go. You're supported by the earth. Your chest is open. Your heart is wide. Your arms can be in a T or wherever it feels comfortable for you. Back bends are so important. Sometimes people think, what? I'm supposed to do back bends? The spine is supposed to move in 6 directions. It's supposed to forward fold. It's supposed to go sideways. And it's supposed to twist. And it's supposed to go backwards. So I recommend doing back bends and twisting, forward folding, and side bends every day because it keeps your spine healthy and flexible. So we have a few more minutes left in this pose. Just enjoy watching your breath. Enjoy the openness of your chest. Nice, long, slow, deep inhales. Nice, long, slow exhales. Feel the rib cage widening on the inhale. Feel the expansion. And on the exhale, feel the contraction. So we have about 1 more minute left in this pose. Feel the heart space wide and open. Feel the breath filling the body. All right, so now we're going to move out of this pose, and we're going to do so very gently. So you're literally just going to roll over onto your side and just stay here for a moment in the fetal position. And when you're ready, you're going to use your hand to press down and to come up to a seated pose. So our next pose will be another back bend, and it's called supported bridge. So you can use a block. Now the block, if you're going to use it, lowest, second, highest. If you prefer to use a bolster, you can use a bolster, or you can use a blanket. So if you've never done this before, watch me. I'm going to use a bolster because I just feel like I want something nice and soft on the back of my sacrum. I will also demo with a block. So I'm coming down into constructive rest pose. Knees to the sky, feet to the floor. And I'm pressing down through my feet and I'm lifting up. I'm taking the bolster and I'm placing it under my sacrum, my tailbone, my low back. This is supported bridge. If you don't have a bolster or you'd like to try the block, I prefer it on the lowest, but some people like to take the block all the way up to the highest. That's way too strong for me. So you can take this block, it goes on your sacrum. Your sacrum is the triangular bone that is just above the tailbone, and it's at the base of the spine. You can also use a folded blanket, or if you feel like you want a little bit more, you don't put anything underneath that and stay in full bridge. I personally like to have support when I do bridge. You get the same benefit. Your arms can be in a T, or you can have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So just let yourself go. If you have an eye pillow, place the eye pillow on your eyes and let go. Back bends are so healthy for you. And when we do a restorative pose, it's very gentle and you're supported by the earth. You're supported by your props. So as you inhale, feel the breath coming in, feel an expansion, feel an opening. We spend way too much time, we spend way too much time hunched over computers, texting, driving. So when we do a back bend restoratively, it's very freeing. It's very opening for the heart center, for the lungs. Inhaling, feel an expansion. Exhaling, let everything go. Let everything go. This is your time. This is your practice. This is all about you. This is the time you get to nurture yourself. You get to be fully present. You get to be in this moment, the only moment there is. About 30 seconds more. All right, so to come out of this pose, you're going to press down through your feet, lift your hips up, remove whatever prop it is that you have underneath you. Come back down, lower the hips, draw the knees into the chest, and roll over onto your side for a moment, and slowly come up. All right, the next pose, which is one of my favorites, but that doesn't mean it's going to be your favorite, but maybe, is side lying stretch. We're going to work the side body. So you'll need 2 blankets or towels, and I like to have a block. So watch me before you go into this pose. I'm taking my blanket and I'm rolling it like so. I'm placing that in the middle of my mat, and then I'm taking my other blanket, and this is going to be for my head. I'm going to move everything down a little so I don't hit the wall. And then I'm going to bring a block to the top. I may need it, I may not need it. I've got it there so that if I do need it, I don't have to get up and get it. Then I'm going to move everything else out of the way, and I'm going to sit sideways. So I've got my hip toward this rolled mat. I want to roll over this prop so that down the middle of this roll is my waistline. So I'm coming down. So if you want to watch me first. And I've got my arms supporting my head. Notice my legs. I'm taking my arm up and I'm bringing it over my ear. And sometimes my hand just kind of floats, and I don't like that. I like to have my hands supported by a block. So let's come into that again. If you aren't already in that pose, you're going to have the rolled mat. You're going to roll down so that the waistline is going to be right down the middle. You come down. If you need more support for your head, fold your blanket and take your arm overhead. So you can stay like this. If you want more of a stretch in the side body, you can grab the wrist, the top wrist with the bottom hand. You can take the top leg forward. You can take the bottom leg back. So my legs are scissored. You don't have to do this. You can stay right like this. But I'm all about the options. If you think you want more, you can open your chest up to the sky while you're pulling on that top wrist with the bottom hand. But again, being right here is perfectly fine. Top leg can come forward, bottom leg can go back. You can open your chest up to the sky. So this is a side stretch. This is really good for stretching out the intercostal muscles that surround the rib cage, that work with our breath. A lot of us have very stiff, tight muscles, and that can cause our breathing to be restricted. So this is a nice pose if you have asthma or respiratory distress of a cough or a cold. We'll be in this pose for a total of 2.5 minutes. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. I'm going to come up, you stay put. So this is a wonderful pose for opening up the lungs and stretching the muscles that surround the rib cage. Take long, slow, deep breaths. So you're going to feel the stretch on the top side body, the part that's facing the ceiling. Got about 30 seconds left. So like I said earlier, you can go back and replay these videos if you feel like you were rushed and you didn't have a chance to get the props. And then you can do it on your own with everything you need. You can pause the video and then you can restart it. You can stay longer in the poses. All right, so now you're going to start to come out. So if your legs were scissored, you'll bring them back. You're going to come back up using your hand to push you up. And for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to flip to this side, but you're simply going to just turn and bring the other hip to the rolled mat. All right, so you're sitting sideways alongside the roll. You're lowering down, lowering down. And one side might be completely different than the other. Take the top arm over the ear. You can grab that top wrist with the bottom hand or not. You can use that block to support your hands. You can take the top leg forward and the bottom leg back. You can open up toward the sky, but you can also just take a nicer, smaller movement. Nobody's going to get a prize for coming into the strongest side stretch. There's no competition in yoga. I'm going to come up to a seated position so that the audio is clear. Let yourself be in this pose. Let yourself feel the stretch on the side of the body. This is so good for you. Nice, long, slow inhales and exhales. Let yourself be fully present. Let these poses that we're doing today become part of your toolbox. They don't take long to get into, and using imagination, you can take any type of prop that's around your house. It doesn't have to be an expensive bolster. You don't have to go buy an eye pillow. You can use your imagination. Okay, we're slowly going to make our way out of the pose. So you'll take your top hand, bring your legs back in, push yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to take a basic relaxation pose with a centering meditation. So this will be your Shavasana. And what I recommend is an eye pillow. And I also recommend a blanket for your head, and I'm going to fold the blanket so that I have a little bit more of a lift when I lay down. And it's a little bit cold right now for where I am, so I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to totally relax and come down. So come on down, put your socks on, cover yourself with the blanket, put your eye pillow on, and relax. I'm going to talk you through a centering meditation. So I'm coming up to a seated position, but please let yourself get very, very comfortable. I want you to close your eyes. Your arms can come out in a T or wherever it feels comfortable. Swallow and stretch your lower jaw. Let your cheeks hollow. Let the cheekbones relax. Release the root of your tongue in your mouth. Let your fingers curl naturally as your hands relax. Let your legs roll outward. Allow the entire back of the body to just relax. Allow the back of the body to feel at ease and in complete contact with the floor. Your arms and your legs will feel longer and longer, as well as heavier and heavier. Feel the large muscles of the legs, the buttocks, and the trunk drop away from the bones. Feel the smaller muscles of your arms, neck, and head as they seem to move away from the bones. Let the bones themselves feel heavy and the skin loose all over the body. Notice that the abdominal organs seem to nestle gently into your body. Savor the silence. As you continue to rest, notice when you start to feel lighter. That means your body has relaxed, and you can begin a long inhale, followed by a long exhale. A long inhale, followed by a long exhale. So we're slowly going to begin to come out of this pose. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your head from side to side. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, rocking from side to side. Roll onto your side into the fetal position. And then slowly, gently, lovingly make your way up into a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands into prayer. Bowing your head down. The light in me salutes the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Have a great day. Thanks for coming, and rewatch the video at your own leisure and pause when you need to. Pause when you want to stay in the poses longer. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did doing it. I miss you all, and I hope I see you all soon.